Bam and Z are rocking a great following and have limitless potential in a wide range of genres. Their songs are consistent, and Bam and Z both bring a different personality to each track. They show versatility with flows, they display compelling melodies, and they have an immense amount of energy in their songs. Welcome Bam and Z to the show. All right, so I guess first of all, a really basic question: how did you guys meet and start making music together?
Yeah, so I had I've been making music since I was in like third grade, honestly. Just kind of playing around with it. And it was always kind of like a back passion of mine, like I would always never was really that serious about it. And then met Cam, we was just cool, just chilling and whatnot. And then I feel like he had kind of seen us make music, like me, a couple of my other friends and whatnot. And then we would just freestyle together all the time. Like literally, we would just be chilling, kicking it, freestyle. And I'm like, bro, you kind of hard. Like I'm gonna need to get you on the mic, And then literally, we kind of bonded. Where every week, literally, people was out, partying and whatnot. I'll come home from school. You feel me? We just writing songs. Feel me? Every Friday, we in the studio. And then that just became the habit where that was our type of fun, it's just making songs. And I guess it kind of just formed into like now, where it's exclusively just Bam and Z now, we're a duo.
Yeah, that's awesome. One thing I noticed when I was listening to your guys' stuff, and I've been listening to you guys pretty consistently from your first project, and I remember I hit up Z after you guys released that one project, and I really liked the song Maryland. You guys did that song. But what I noticed was like you guys have a great flow together. Like you both bring your different personalities and like character traits to each track, and it's really cool because I think you guys really work well together in that sense.
For sure, yeah, I think that's kind of honestly, it's like a cheat code for me, honestly, because it's like sometimes I could approach a song one way, and it could be hard, but it's like maybe that will get stale, or maybe that it can't be the whole song, It's like I got a cool idea, but that's not going to carry the whole weight of it. So it's nice sometimes where it's like, hey, Cam, I got this little idea, but it's like, what you think about it? And then he just forms another half of it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's going to work, So it's almost like a cheat code in a way where it's not just me, like, because you both y'all know, like, I do all the production and whatnot, so I can get really stuck in the box of like, oh, I'm making the beat and whatnot, and it's like, oh, I want this to sound like this a certain way, and then I get stuck in that mindset of this is how the song's supposed to be. Whereas I go show Cam the beat, maybe a couple lyric ideas, and he's like, oh no, I think we should do this, and then does some completely other stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, I would have never even thought about that. So it's kind of almost a cheat code in a way because we can come at it from completely different angles, kind of, I guess.
I think that was a big reason we like chilling too. Once we started chilling like that, it was like, oh, this dude thinks about shit that I wouldn't even think about.
Yeah, for sure.
And I put him on shit that he didn't fuck with. He put me on shit I didn't fuck with. And he was like, oh yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Yeah, put me on some Blink or something. Yeah. I'll show you some old, I don't know, Wayne that you ain't heard. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of things like that too. And then we also just have a really deep love for music, so we can just sit back and listen to music as fans and be like, well, I want to be able to recreate that feeling that we get from this, or it's like, how did they do this? So it's like almost still being students of the game and then just continuously learning, like we learn now by just doing stuff. So it's like, okay, we want to try this new vibe. Well, let's just go try it and we're going to learn from it. I think that's the biggest thing is just try it. If it doesn't work, it's whatever. There's going to be always another beat or another song, so just try it, I guess.
That's good advice.
Yeah. So I was actually, that was one of my questions is how does producing and writing these lyrics and, performing them, how does that affect your workflow? I know you said you got Bam in there.
It could be like the biggest help, and it could be like the biggest crutch too, because like both of y'all know, like we can get so deep into production, or even if I'm not that deep into production, I can spend like 20 minutes, make a beat real quick, but then it's still mine, so it's like it comes down to the mixing or whatnot, and it's like, oh, I got to get it a certain way, and then it's like I don't even want to pay nobody else to do it because it's like, well, I want this certain way to be mixed like this, and then so it can be like it's nice because I got full control. Like if I want it to sound like this, I'm gonna make it sound like this, but it's also not good because I got full control. So there's nobody stopping me from spending 10,000 hours on this one song,
Yeah.
you know? So I think for like biggest advice to anybody or myself, honestly, in that same position is just try not to get too close to it. Like I just keep moving, I guess. Like a kind of a saying that me and Cam got is we never try to go back to songs. We just let's go to the next song, you know, like just on to the next song. And that's kind of always what I think about is especially with mixing and whatnot. Production's kind of it's easier for me now because I can let go of beats easier, where I can maybe make 10 beats in a day and it's like, oh, I want to record to every single one. But now it's like, okay, I could just use this one and I'll sell the rest or whatever. So production's easier, but for mixing, it was just always hard because I literally spend like 3 weeks on one song and then end up going with the first mix that I did originally. And it's just it's really like I don't know, just can't get too close because like I said, we record like every week at least a couple songs. So I stick on one song for 3 weeks and then I already got 6 or 8 songs that I got piled up that I still need to do. So it's just get it done. As long as it sounds good, you know, make the next one better, I guess, you know.
Yeah. I hear that, man. You start hyper focusing on certain
Oh yeah,
trying to get it perfect. And at some point it's just like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. It's how it's gonna have to be.
Yeah.
Just make up for it on the next song.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
That's what we try to do.
So I guess so I know you guys kind of you would consider your genre kind of like punk rap. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing a lot of like newer stuff lately. It's a lot of like EDM inspired as well, but we still like tie it. It's always tying back to like that emo trap kind of punkier sound. And I think that helps like with the duo as well, because like we can approach a song. It might not even have a guitar in it, you know, but we can approach a song where it's like we're still adding those elements, you know, or even some songs it's like it's still a rap song, but maybe that's because Cam comes in with the verse and makes that the rap part of it. Whereas it's like I feel like that's another benefit of being in a duo is because we can offer completely different flavors and that can kind of tie 2 genres or 2 sounds together and create this one thing. You know, like I said, a lot of our newer stuff is really like EDM based, and I won't really have that many guitars in the production, but we'll still approach it like it's just a pop punk song. So we get this really weird like cyberpunk sounding thing, but it's just we might not even necessarily sit down and say, hey, we want to make this cyber pop punk sounding song, but that's just what happens just because that's how we approach it. I don't know. So I don't think we ever are too conscious on like this is the type of song that we want to make. It just kind of happens. So I don't know. I don't know. It sucks because it's like I wish that I could just say like, oh, I want to make this song, and then we make it. And I guess to a certain extent it's like that because with the production and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like I think that's kind of the added benefit is we're kind of surprised in a way whenever we have the finished song because I can do my half of the song, but then I let Cam go do his thing and I hear the song at the end of it and it's like, oh wow, this is totally different than what I could have even imagined, you know? So
yeah. Well, that's cool though. For sure you guys are just having fun with it, making what you love and you know, you're getting it
sure, yeah.
that is cool. It's interesting. It's fun to listen to. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. You guys got that duo, you know, where you just can bounce ideas off each other. Like that's just sounds super important as a musician.
For sure,
you know,
yeah.
Definitely.
And it's really rare in like the rap world, like the hip hop side of the world. You don't really see that anymore. You've seen like Ray Shermer, like little stuff like that. You don't really see anything. I guess like what we do, like you guys kind of said, like we do have a certain sound and a certain genre in a way, but we could go through our whole catalog and we have songs that I guarantee you that some people are gonna love, and then the same people might hate those songs, but then love another one of our songs. And it's like I kind of like that part where we can be so diverse where it's like, okay, you might not like this song, but I promise you that we can make a song that you're gonna like, that you're gonna get behind, you know? So it's like I kind of like that aspect of us. I think that's one of my favorite attributes about us is just that we are so diverse. Like you guys kind of said, we definitely do have a certain distinct kind of sound no matter what, but it could be pretty wide. I think the main thing is I just try to make things very like palatable for people. So maybe somebody doesn't really like pop punk, but they really like hip hop. So like I'll give them a lot of elements of hip hop, but maybe just a couple elements of like pop punk where they're like, okay, I can kind of see why they get down with that.
See, and like he just said, I don't think that that's conscious at all. I think it's more like we like to listen to pop punk. We like to listen to emo, trap. We like to listen to, you know, lots of different shit. So that comes through in our music. It's not really ever like, oh yeah, I wanna do this on this type of beat. It's more like I used to listen to Wayne, so this kind of sounds like Wayne on a Blink 182 type beat because I love both those. You know what I mean? It's like it's just inspos coming through when you don't even expect it to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. For sure. Versatility. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess here's another question. It's more on like visual arts. Are you in the works with, you know, shooting video for your music?
Yeah, actually, I think we might be shooting a video later today for a song. I got one videographer. His name's Leif. You can look him up on social media as Creative Child. He works with a lot of different artists and whatnot. But every time I lock in with him, we just always seem to have that kind of like we trust each other, you know? So it's like he trusts me to give something on a sonic level that's going to be different, that's going to be an experience. And then I can kind of take some of my stress away and put the trust in him and just do what you want to do. You feel me? Like I definitely tell him an idea and whatnot. And you'll definitely start to see a lot more because like we honestly haven't really dropped anything compared to what we have. Like we had that one project. That project, whenever I dropped it, was like 2 years old at the time. So now it's like 3, almost 4 years old. Some songs I better coming on, probably like 4 or 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And so we have songs that we've recorded even like last week that are just way crazier, way different types of moods and whatnot. So I think that we're really gonna start, pushing the boundaries with the sound, but definitely with the visuals as well. We just gotten to that point where we have so many types of different sounds and whatnot and different types of little aesthetics where I really want to kind of push them and merge them together and whatnot. So you'll definitely start seeing a lot more videos. Like we just dropped the Blue Pills video. But I mean, even that song was like over a year old now. Same with the video. So it's 2 or 3. Yeah, almost like 2 years old. And so we're kind of finally at the point where we're kind of catching up with ourselves. Where we're finally going to start releasing some of the newer stuff. I think that's more of our strategy now is just kind of going with our newer stuff, and then with the fans that we get of that specific sound, we'll release more bodies of work of that sound. But kind of like I was saying, how there's definitely going to be groups of people that like this, what we offer in like the pop punk side of stuff, but then the people might not like that more EDM ragier stuff that we do or whatever, so it's like really just, having those sounds and displaying what we can offer. And then, like I said, backing them with the visuals. I do want to be a very big visual artist. I think that's really important, especially in 2021, is just always having some type of visual, even if it's just a lyric video or something. But people get really bored of just audio now, like unless you're a musician, and even sometimes musicians, people aren't really just sitting and listening and not looking at anything. So to give somebody like the visual fixation to look at with their audio, I think it's just a good tip for even if you're just a producer, have some type of visuals for your beats or whatnot. But yeah, I really do want to start pushing, and like I said, just pushing the boundaries of what sounds normally mix like, or what visuals normally mix. It's like I really want to have a very diverse, really versatile just image and sound all across the boards, where I can really capture as many fans as possible. Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. I'm excited for those new projects you guys got coming, and it's cool that you're not limiting yourself to anything, any genre, any sound, anything like that. So I guess another question is like, where do you guys see yourself like in the industry in the next, 2 to 3 years?
We have been talking to a lot of A&Rs lately. Really, I think right now, so like I kind of see like 3 different phases. Right now, we're kind of in the phase of I guess really just the networking phase, just really seeing our option phase, you know, because there is a lot of opportunity for so many different aspects in music, you know, and
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I want to stay independent as long as possible, and I don't really want to sign like a major deal necessarily, but I want to just see what offers come on the table. Like I said, I've been talking to a lot of different A&Rs, whether that's like with independent labels or bigger labels and whatnot, and I've gotten a lot of input, and basically the input that I've gotten is I know that we could definitely take it somewhere, take it to the
Yeah.
next level. But I just want to make sure that we have all our chips aligned, make sure that, because it's just a game, like the label's got to make money too. There's going to be a certain day where it's like, okay, if we want to take it to the next level, we are going to have to work with the label. We are going to have to start spreading some of this, spreading some of the royalties, spreading some of the money that make it all go around. But you, as an artist, you just kind of have to make sure that you're getting something out of the deal too, because at the end of the day, they got to make money off it too, but you got to make sure that you can as well. So that's, we're at the point right now where, like I said, I definitely know like in the next 5 years, we'll probably be working with some label, whether it's, working, maybe it's just like for streaming, like just distribution, or maybe it's just marketing or whatnot, or maybe it is working fully with the label. So you'll definitely probably see that from us in the next few years. But right now we're just kind of trying to see our options, make sure that we got all our chips aligned, make sure that, we got our momentum going so that we can get our end out the deal too,
Absolutely.
Preach that.
For sure.
Yeah, so let's see here. Look, rolling through the questions. You guys have had really good answers. You're like taking away questions. So, so I guess in your opinion, where is pop music going? What genre is kind of being put to the forefront?
That's a really good question, because I always have this discussion with Cam or even with myself. I was trying to think. And I think with Corona, it kind of like spiked the trends, because there's always like the 30-year trend. You would have like, we had like jazz, and then people were like, oh, well, fuck jazz, let's do blues. And then you're like, oh, fuck blues, and it's rock and roll. And then, it just keeps going down the path. And I feel like with nowadays, like with social media and like everything being so digital and so readily at your fingertips, you get some, it's weird because like the people's attention span is so small now. So like, as opposed to having a whole genre be like the it genre for the next 30 years, it's going to be like the it genre for the next month, maybe, so like you see a lot of different things. Like, I really think it's going to just be like a blend, and you're going to see a lot of songs that will be lean more rock based, or maybe they'll lean more rap based, but I think that is going to be the main thing. It's just a very diverse sound selection of songs. Like, I mean, you can even see now, if you look at like the top 10, we have songs that sound like 90s grunge songs on the top 10, or stereotypical pop songs, or you have songs now that sound like old Aaliyah songs from like early 2000s. And it's like, I think that's really going to be the main thing, is like, we're going to have those fundamental, like, like trap drums maybe for some things or whatever. But I think the main thing that we're going to see in pop is just reaching for those familiar elements and then putting that new spin on them. Like, I think we're going to see a lot of like R&B come back, but with that new spin. You're kind of seeing it now, but like I said, like the old Aaliyah sound, like old Timbaland, like that kind of sound, I think you're going to see come back a lot. I think you're definitely seeing like the pop punk resurgence, but I think that we're going to see the grunge kind of come back more. I think pop punk's starting to kind of get where people are getting tired of it, like just straight pop punk. So I think you're going to see a lot of those elements carry over, but, just slightly change a little bit, just keep evolving. And I think that's the coolest part, is we really don't know, like, with all this stuff changes so much. We're going to have a song that blows up that's going to influence music for the next 5 years that we don't even know about, but I think that the main thing is that it's just going to be so diverse. I mean, I'm starting to see it now where, like, literally, like I said, the top 10, you can go through each song. They're like almost completely different genres. You know, like the top 10 pop charts are like almost completely different genres each song. And I think you're gonna really just start seeing that separate from itself, where it's like, damn, like these really are different genres, but they're still all pop. So I think it's kind of cool because it's gonna open people's palette for like different sounds. But I don't know, it's gonna be also weird because it's not a definitive sound. It's not like, oh, hip hop is the biggest genre right now, or rock is the biggest genre right now. It's like everything you can pull from, and you just got to make music that sounds good. So it's a good and a bad thing, you know. I think overall it's going to be a cool thing, but it's just going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Right. That was a good answer. I would agree 100% with what you said. You know, that blend with everything so easy. Everything is just presented to you.
Yeah.
You can listen to this and this and this, and you might like this aspect of a song. And so, yeah, definitely some mixture of random elements.
I guess where do you guys think that like I guess specifically like hip hop, where do you guys see the direction of hip hop? Because I've kind of said that I think that we're about to start seeing hip hop kind of separate into two lanes, with like the old school, you know, like more boom bap style, and then you're gonna really see trap kind of evolve into almost a whole different genre. But I think that we've gotten to the stage where people really miss like the old like backpack rap kind of sound, you know. But I also don't see trap going anywhere. So like you guys, especially as like producers and whatnot, what do you guys think? Like, have you guys tried to change anything in your production, or like add different elements or whatnot to try to stay fresh or be more modern or ahead of the curve? Like, what do you guys think?
You know, I've recently started, I might be a little late on, I'm probably in, but I've been trying to make some like hyper pop stuff. I've had a couple artists ask for like hyper pop beats. So it's like, I see that trend. I saw that trend come. I don't know if it's staying or if it's gone already, or
For sure.
but
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, like that old school stuff, I don't think that will be gone for a while. I think there's still a lot of people that like appreciate just the classic sound like that. And that's important, I think.
And you know, what's crazy is honestly, like even I think literally just this past week, because like that's mainly been for the past like 3 or 4 months. It's basically been a lot of like hyper pop. I mean, we like to think that we started a new genre. It's kind of like hyper pop punk, honestly. It's literally kind of what it sounds like. And I think that we could really like push that to be something. But I've also been messing with a lot of literally taking old samples and chopping them like I was to make a boom bap beat, but then just putting some stereotypical ass like just trap drums on it. And I kind of like that, you know, like I'm not saying obviously it's been done before hundreds of times, but I don't know. I want to start playing with that. I think, you know, just like really that blend of like, okay, these are like just stereotypical ass like Mexico drum plug ass trap drums, but on a old school like Kanye flip sample, you know. And I was honestly kind of inspired of what some of the stuff Kanye did on his last album, just hearing him kind of play with the more trap stuff, and then hearing a lot of the new artists get on that kind of sound. I think we are going to see a lot of that too. But I don't know, like it's just interesting. I'm excited to see, you know, like I haven't really felt like a fan for so long. Like I just been doing it, and it's like it's all the same stuff, you know. Like, I'm tired. Yeah, I haven't been excited for music in a while, and I'd say the past like 2-3 months, past 2-3 months, I've been really excited again. So yeah, it's just exciting to you know, be a fan again, like just be a fan of the industry. So we'll see though. We'll see.
Yep. Well, I guess so. What inspires you guys to create new music?
Really just life, you know, like
new music
too.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be some days, you know, like I won't be inspired, but then I'll put on a song and it's like, oh yeah, I want to do that. But then some days it's just like I have a really good day and I want to capture that. Or it could be the reverse. A lot of times it's the reverse. It's like, oh, I've had a really shit ass day, a really bad day. Let me just like not go yell at somebody or some person. Let me put all my energy like into this, you know. So it's really just like it's almost a type of therapy for me, because it's like I'm a very like boxed in person in a way. Like, you know, I could be sociable or whatnot, but I kind of tend to keep things in, you know. So it's music is kind of a way for me where it's like, oh, I could do this all by myself, you know. It's like it's nice working with Ken because it allows me to kind of open up, you know, and not just keep everything inside. But like with production, for example, it's like, oh, I've had a really fucked up day. Let me make a whole beat by myself. And then at the end of it, I literally started from air and now I have a whole beat, you know? So it's cool to show myself like, oh, you can do stuff like this, you know, you can do this all by yourself, you know? So it's almost like, I know it's like cliche to say, but it's literally almost like therapy for me to just get it all out. And then at the end of it, be like, yeah, you did this, bro. Like, be proud of yourself, you know? It's like just showing yourself that, I guess.
My inspo to make music is hearing other music, and I don't know, it's just like I hear this song and they're like, I'm like, man, they could have did that way harder. That's why I started, you know, making music and shit, because me and Braden would be listening to music and I'm like, they should have said this, shouldn't they? Or this note should have went up right here instead of going down right here. And we'd be like, that it sounded wrong. And so when I say new music, it's like I've already listened to all the old shit, and that's made me hop in the stew and try to surpass that. So when Montero drops, and I'm like, oh shit, Nas X kind of snapping, kind of makes me want to go hop in the stew and go snap harder than him. Like, this shit is a competition to me. It's not no hate or nothing.
Yeah,
but that's where I get my inspo. I can't listen to old music because I've already tried to be better than that. So I need this new music to set a standard for me. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, I can be better than that. Let me go try to be better than that. And maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it does, you know.
That is one thing I do appreciate about Cam, because like, I'm sure you guys can understand too. Like, every time you listen to a song, like, especially like mixing wise, like to be honest with you, mixing is one of my least favorite things to do in life. I hate mixing, but it's one of my biggest passions because it's like music has always came pretty easy to me in a way, like where I could just do it. It felt natural to me, but then it got to the mixing stage and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I'm horrible. Like, this is the horrible thing ever, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
So it got to the stage where like, I literally just learned everything about mixing. And then now, like, I listen to a song and if I'm not like picking out like, oh, they use the Rhodes from Omnisphere on this one preset. Like, if it's not that, then I'm like, oh, I think they used this 76 compressor with I think it's an 8-to-1 ratio.
See, he's more like that. And I'm like, bro, did they use 3 takes right there? Did they use a doubler on his voice right there? Is that one take? Did he one take that all the way through? Like, Wayne, we'll listen to a Wayne song and he'll literally press play and go through. He doesn't stop. It's one take. He one takes the whole fucking verse. I'm like, did he not stop? I don't hear any breaths. I don't hear any takes. Like, you know how it stopped? Like, you cut it up. I don't hear any of that shit.
And I think that's what Cam has really kind of like put me on, is like, because I would look at stuff more as like an artistic value, like with the production or like the mixing or whatnot. But then Cam really started pointing out things in terms of skill level as just an artist, you know, like, was he screaming when he did this take? Like, did he do a take where he was quiet and then he layered it with the screaming? And I was like,
are they using Melodyne right here, or is this his real voice?
You know, stuff like that. And then it kind of got me to just look at all aspects, because at the end of the day, I started making beats because I wanted to be an artist. You know, like I wrote a song and I'm like, okay, well, now I need a beat. So then I learned how to production, and then I recorded it. And I'm like, well, this sounds like shit. So then I started mixing and whatnot. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to being an artist. But I think sometimes I'll get distracted with the other things, you know, because a lot of times artists do have other producers or other engineers or whatnot. So they don't really
have to
get
worry
distracted.
about that.
Yeah, don't really need to worry about it. So like Cam kind of helps me just kind of like take a step back and look at everything as a whole picture, as opposed to like really nitpicking things, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. It seems like you guys balance each other out, you know.
Sure, yeah.
That's really important, you know, with a group thing, with a duo. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
you want the last question, Evan, or you got any more? All right, cool. This one's for both of you too, so take your time and, you know, think about this or whatever. But what would you tell like your 17, 18-year-old self, or maybe just your younger self who's just getting into music? What advice would you give them? How would you do things differently, or if you would do things differently?
Just start dropping, because like we said earlier, like, we get caught up on the songs. It's either one or two things. We get caught up on the songs and we're like, bro, this doesn't sound good. This doesn't sound how we expect it. Or it does come out how we expect it, we listen to it for the whole week and we're like, bro, we did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we forget about the song. So I tell my 17, 16-year-old self, like, bro, just, all right, you made that song, go mix it, drop it right now. Because that's one thing that we should have been doing. We should have, just dropping Lucy's and bullshit everywhere just so people could have little breadcrumbs to lead to us. We only dropped maybe 20 songs in our career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people don't, people could listen to a song and then start going through our discography and be like, oh, they're relatively new, when they don't know that we've been doing this shit 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So I would have told myself, just start dropping. It's might not be the best, but somebody out there is gonna like it or appreciate the sentiment of it. We have songs blowing up every day that don't necessarily sound the best, you know what I mean, mix wise, or maybe even the rapper or the artist is a joke, like they're literally being a meme, and it just blew up because it sounds, people can move their bodies to it, people can understand it, people can sing along to it or something. So
I think, to kind of add on to that, I think that, that kind of would be what I would say as well. But to kind of add on to that, it's like, I would always, for example, we would record a song, and we would have like a few songs, and I'm like, okay, well, I know that this song people are gonna like this song. Like, this song is gonna be a hit. And I would be so sure on one song. Like, for example, I dropped that project and there was a couple songs. It's like, okay, I think that these are gonna be the biggest songs on there. And they weren't. Like, it was songs that I least expected, So to kind of add on to what Cam's saying is, like, you really don't know what people are gonna like, like,
Right.
just because you like it, like, at the end of the day, make what you like as an artist, because people are gonna like just that inspiration, that what they hear from your voice and whatnot. But you're not gonna know what people's favorite is. So, like, really just getting it out there, and it kind of like, I'm kind of like 50-50 on it. Like, I wish that we could go back to the days where artists would drop a project like once every year and a half, and then people would sit with that project and really sit with it for a year. But it's sad, we're kind of gone from those days. It's like, now you kind of got to stay in people's forefront. We got to stay in people's minds. So really just getting that music out there. You can still have those projects, of course, still have those things that make you an artist, that as opposed to just a rapper or a singer or whatnot. Have those bodies of work that can make you an artist. But just having, maybe it's not even music, but maybe it's like a clothes drop, or just doing something on social media, just being active, just staying in the forefront of people's minds, because like, at the end of the day, people listen to music and idolize artists and whatnot because they want that life. It looks like a glorious, it's like, oh, I'm working every day, I want to live like a rapper or whatever, so it's like, you almost got to fake it till you make it. You got to live that lifestyle before you are even sure that you can live that lifestyle. It's like, I got to start doing things that normal people can't or wouldn't, because they're scared. And it's like, well, I got to start separating myself as a person and being more of an artist, and doing different things like that. So yeah, of course, staying in people's minds, releasing music regularly, not treating it like someone that does music as a hobby and that releases a song 3 songs every year just as a hobby, like really being consistent, showing people that, yeah, this is what we do. We make music every day, like every day I wake up, I'm doing music, like going out, whenever we do shows or whatnot, just be doing that, more things as an artist, I guess. Like, if you want to do it, just full send it, I guess, is really the best answer. Because, like, that goes for anybody. Like, I've seen so many people with talent, whether it's just like they're really, really good at guitar or singing or mixing or production. I see so many people with talent, but they're not ever going to go anywhere because they're just afraid to full send it, So it's like, if you want to do it, just treat it like it's your job, and you're going to get paid like it's your job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's hard. It's easier said than done, for sure. It's scary in a way, but I think that would be the main thing, is just literally just do it. Like, if you're going to be an artist, cool, be an artist. If you're going to be a producer, cool, be a producer. But that means that you're going to be in the studio every day for at least a few hours. That means that you got to worry about other things that's besides your craft. Because even if you just want to be a producer, you still got to network with other producers. You still got to get your beats out there. You got to know your royalties. You got to know your paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these different aspects. And it's like, you got to get those aligned and then you can do it. But you can't just half-ass it and just be like, oh, I'm just going to carry it strictly from my talent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I used to think too. It's like, okay, well, we can just record good songs and everything else will be taken care of for us. You know, everything else will come later. And then I realized like, nah, it ain't really going to work like that, you know? So the past couple of years, we definitely, like I said, just been getting our tips aligned and whatnot. But I think that would be the main thing I would say to myself is like, if you're going to be an artist, you can do a little, bro, but you just got to, you know, you can't half-ass it. You got to know the full game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great answers. Great answer for sure. And good advice for anybody that's watching this that, and you know, they're at a different stage and they're recording, they're producing, they're mixing, you know, you can take away from a lot of what you guys are talking about. And
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
well,
Sure.
yeah, well, that was great, guys. Thank you for coming. It was awesome to have you guys on, and maybe we should all get together and work on some stuff, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all taking the time out, talk to us. It's good to
Yeah,
meet you. Good to meet you, Bam.
Yeah.
Good to meet
I'm
you.
gonna hit y'all up soon, bro. We definitely go up to work.
Yeah,
Sweet.
for sure, bro.
I'll hit y'all up after this.
On 2 pills, baby, I need that.